Hello everyone. There was some technical glitch for there was a delay of 3 minutes. Please bear with me. All right. There was a technical glitch for which there was a delay. All right. Okay. I see people joining in. So we'll just give maybe another 1 minute for all of them to join in. Okay. That's great. All right, so before we start today's topic, I would like all of you to take a deep breath for before starting this session. All right? Okay. So let us remember or recall a situation, most common things where even I have heard people saying it. I just want to move on, probably from a person, a memory, a phase of life, or say a version of themselves. And yet, even after time passes, something still stays. So, tonight we are going to understand why, if there's something you have been trying to release for a long time, if there's something that you have been trying to release for a long time, we will understand that. And if there is something, please type in yes in the chat. So more people are carrying things silently than we realize. And this conversation may shift how you understand healing completely. So I wanted to begin today's session quite differently. So I don't want you to think about motivation right now. I want you to think about something you thought you already have, you know, forgotten, moved on from that particular situation. Maybe you take a pause and think over it can be a conversation, maybe a relationship, maybe a phase of life that technically ended, yet somehow it still lives somewhere inside you. A lot of people saying yes. Uh-huh. So, what's strange is, you may not think about it every single day. You may even believe you are okay now. Yet, certain moments still affect you more than they should. A simple message changes your mood. A certain tone in someone's voice suddenly irritates you. You become distant without understanding why. Or sometimes you feel emotionally heavy and there's no obvious reason for it. This is where many people start becoming hard on themselves. Why am I still carrying this? Why can't I just move on like everyone else can? Why does this still affect me when so much time has passed? And because they can't fully make sense of what they are feeling inside, they start coping instead of processing. They keep themselves occupied. They pour their energy into work, responsibilities, routines. Like they scroll more. We often hear that commonly discussed in a lot of podcasts that scrolling issues have of lately been increased a lot, or say staying mentally engaged. And slowly they begin telling themselves, I should be over this by now. Maybe I'm just thinking too much. Let me not go there again. But are we able to do that? Mhm. Yet deep within, something still feels emotionally unfinished. And what I want you to understand tonight is that does not mean you are weak. It does not mean this is something we are being dramatic, or it definitely does not mean you are broken. It means something inside you never fully completed emotionally. See, most people are taught how to continue. We have heard people saying, you need to move out of the situation, go ahead with life, X, Y, Z, lot of suggestions. Very few people are taught how to process it. Saying move on, will it really, or had it really helped anybody? So we learn to keep functioning, keep smiling, keep showing up, even when emotionally a part of us is still holding pain, confusion, grief, anger, or disappointment. And over time, that emotional weight does not simply disappear because life moves forward. It stays quietly underneath, sometimes as tension in the body, sometimes as emotional exhaustion, sometimes as reactions you don't fully understand. If you have come across this feeling anytime, type in yes in the chat. I would love to know if this is something, does this resonate? And sometimes as a version of you that no longer feels fully present in your own life. Yeah, correct. I could see Ritu saying yes, Daniel, Mr. Singh, yes. Some experiences don't stay because they were too painful. They stay because they were never fully processed. And neuroscience actually supports this. When an emotional experience is overwhelming, unresolved, or emotionally suppressed, the nervous system often continues carrying traces of that experiences ahead. Not because your mind wants suffering. Nobody loves it, isn't it? Yet, because your system never received the signal that this is safe now and you can release this and move ahead. And this is why healing is not simply about just positive thinking, or else just by listening to motivation talks, listening to any positive suggestions would help everyone out of this very easily. Do you agree? It's about helping your mind, your body, and your nervous system realize I no longer need to keep holding this to protect myself. Period. I don't want to do that any longer. And tonight, we are going to understand why letting go feels so difficult, what actually keeps emotional experiences active inside us, and how emotional release truly begins not just mentally, however, within your nervous system. Yes? So, if there's something in your life that you know you have been carrying silently, stay with me tonight because sometimes one honest conversation can reveal what you have been silently carrying for years. So I could see some of them are joining for the first time. So I would like to, uh, you know, introduce myself. I'm Mishita Bakchi. I'm a life coach specializing in emotional intelligence, a counseling psychologist, a DMIT counselor, and I also work with healing practices like pranic healing, Reiki, and crystal healing. And what my work really focuses on is helping people recognize the emotional weight they have normalized carrying for years. Because many people don't look emotionally overwhelmed on the outside. It's the other way around. They still go to work, reply to messages, take care of responsibilities. Probably they would be great at it. Smile in every conversations and continue with life. Yet internally, their system is running on emotional survival. They are mentally exhausted, emotionally disconnected, constantly overstimulated, and silently carrying experiences they never truly processed. And after a point, they don't just lose energy. They don't lose just the energy. They lose connection with themselves, with clarity, with peace, and sometimes even with who they used to be. They will question themselves, am I the same person I used to be earlier? And the difficult part is most people don't even realize what they are feeling today. It's often accumulated emotional weight from years of suppressing, adjusting, overthinking, and emotionally holding everything alone. And this is why real healing is deeper than motivation. It's not about forcing positivity over pain. It's okay. We need to move on. It's very easy to say. It's about actually helping your nervous system release what it has stayed guarded around for too long, right? So it's also about understanding. It's very easy, like why you react the way you do, why certain emotions stay stuck more than it's needed, and why you feel emotionally drained even when life looks fine. And once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself and reconnecting with yourself. And tonight, we are going to begin exploring that together. We'll keep on going one layer deeper and deeper in this. And you will be able to relate it when I will be sharing something with you from my own journey, from the work I have done with people over the years. And there was a phase in my life where I became very aware of how easily people learn to function emotionally without actually processing what they feel. And strange was, I noticed this in myself first. I was someone who could handle responsibilities great, well, stay composed, support others endlessly, and continue moving forward even during emotionally difficult situations when I needed help. From the outside, I looked calm, stable, emotionally strong, and honestly, I believed that was enough because I trained myself to move ahead quickly from one situation to other without closing it. And if something hurt me, I would understand it logically. If a situation disappointed me, I would tell myself, okay, let's be practical, focus on what matters, don't stay stuck emotionally. Does this sound something similar? Because the situation remains the same. There might be different events that we come across, but the happening, the feeling, the emotions, that remains the same. And in many ways, that helped me survive difficult phases with maturity. Because when I learned what was happening and what need to be done, and over time, I started observing something deeper, that even when situations had ended, my body still carried traces of them, not dramatically, very subtly. I noticed how certain interaction drained my energy faster than they should. How sometimes I was mentally present and internally tired. How emotions I thought I had handled still showed up through tension, emotional heaviness, or becoming unusually quiet. And what fascinated me was this wasn't, there was never chaos in my life. Things were functioning, yet internally, my nervous system was still holding emotional residue from my past experiences. I moved, like I had moved from the past intellectually, however, not fully processed emotionally. Are you with me? If this resonates or this strikes you somewhere in your mind, I would like to hear either that emotion or yes in the chat. And that's when my understanding of healing changed completely. Yes, I realized emotional intelligence is not just about managing emotions well, it's also about recognizing what your body, mind, and nervous system are still carrying silently. Because many high functioning people don't break down externally, they adapt, they continue, they become emotionally efficient. Yet underneath, their system remain silent or, slightly guarded, slightly tense, and slightly unresolved. And the body always reflects that over time. I kept on telling you from the day one that your body keeps the score. So instead of continuing to override what I felt, I started becoming more intentional. I became more aware of what my body was holding, what emotions I dismissed too quickly, what patterns kept repeating again and again underneath my reactions. And with this emotional awareness, nervous system work, healing practices, and deeper self observation, I stopped approaching healing as something to fix quickly, like a quick fix. No. I started approaching as something to understand deeply. And slowly, things started shifting. My emotional reactions became clearer instead of accumulated. My body felt lighter. I no longer felt the need to constantly stay emotionally guarded. And most importantly, I learned the real strength is not just the ability to keep going, it's the ability to stay connected to yourself. Mhm. Do you agree this? Now, let's go one more step deeper into something most people misunderstand. People often think letting go is a decision. I have decided to move on. I won't think about it anymore. I am done with this. These are the lines that we often hear or we often say. right? But yet, internally, their system is still emotionally attached to the experience. We are saying something, but emotionally, we are somewhere in a different experience. This is why you can consciously want peace, however, still feel emotionally pulled back into old memories, old pain, reactions, emotional patterns, right? And I would like to explain this in more detail in certain points. So, the point number one here is we have to understand your brain is designed to hold what feels emotionally unfinished. From a neuroscience perspective, the human brain is naturally wired to seek completion. This is connected to something psychologists often refer to as Zeigarnik effect. It's very interesting. It means the brain tends to hold on to unfinished experiences more strongly than completed ones. Now, for an example, have you observed in a say restaurant waiters taking a lot of orders from different tables, right? And till the order is being handed over, they will remember which table has got which orders, right? There are certain ways, however, their brain also function that okay, table number one is remaining, table number two is remaining, table number four is remaining. The moment that work is done, say the the food is delivered in table number 1, 2, and 4, immediately the brain of that waiter will also close for those particular tables. They will immediately forget that okay, now these three tables are done. That's where Zeigarnik effect shows that the brain tends to hold on to unfinished experiences more strongly than the completed ones. And this doesn't only apply to the task, like I said about this work of a waiter. There can be many other tasks that we can refer to. It also applies emotionally. So, when an emotional experience ends without any clarity, expression, resolution, feeling heard, or emotional processing, your brain keeps returning to it. Not because you enjoy suffering. Can anyone say that, yeah, I enjoy suffering? No, definitely no. However, because your system is still trying to create that emotional completion, and this is why sometimes you replay old conversation in your mind. You think about what you should have said, you imagine different outcomes, you revisit old memories even when you know the situation is over. And people often say, why am I still thinking about this? Because emotionally, your brain is still trying to finish an experience that never felt complete. So, in short, the mind revisits what the heart never fully resolved. Does this make any sense? Yeah. Now, the second point of this situation is letting go is difficult when your nervous system still associates the experience with protection. Let's understand this deeper. Many emotional attachments are not just emotional, they become neurological patterns. Like when an experience affects you deeply, your nervous system creates protective association around it. For example, after betrayal, hyper awareness develop in ourselves. After rejection, emotional guarding develops. And after emotional hurt, overthinking develops. So, could you relate these experiences? If yes, type in chat if that resonates. Yeah. If something relates with the experiences. And over time, these responses stop feeling like reactions. They start feeling like personality. People begin saying, "This is just how I am. I have always been like this. I naturally think this way." Whereas in reality, many of these patterns began as emotional protection. And this is why letting go becomes difficult, extremely difficult. Because of, the part of your nervous system believes holding on to this pain, this memory, or this emotional pattern is helping keeping you safe. Sometimes we don't hold on to pain because we want suffering. We hold on to that situation even because our nervous system learned protection through it. You start feeling comfortable in that situation. And then the third point is emotional closure doesn't mean it's about, it's not about forgetting. And this is where many people struggle. They think healing means never thinking about it again, never feeling emotional again, or becoming unaffected of anything that happens. Is it really possible? No, right? Yet, real emotional closure looks very different. It's not emotional numbness, it's emotional neutrality. It's when the memory no longer controls your body. You remember it. However, your nervous system no longer reacts as if it's happening again. That is emotional release. Like, for an example, you can think about the experience, the event that you faced, without your chest getting tightened, without spiraling that thought mentally, without emotionally collapsing back into it. And this is important because the healing is not erasing your past. You can't delete, you don't have that all shift delete in your system, right? It's reducing the emotional charge your body still carries around it. The fourth point with this, I would like to say why some people stay emotionally stuck for years, not days, not months, but years together. Now, let's understand something honestly. Many people are not stuck because they are weak. They are stuck because they never had space to process it. They were never explained to do so. They were taught to adjust quickly, stay strong, move on fast, right? Their system never got that space, opportunity to feel safely, express honestly, or release gradually. Tell me honestly, have you ever been able to express yourself honestly when things are not turning your, the right way? When you feel things are not right and you raise your opinion. Or say when things are terrible, you release it gradually. And when emotions stay emotionally unfinished, they quietly continuing affecting your confidence, your energy, your emotional openness. your relationships, and your ability to feel fully present. What remains emotionally unfinished quietly continues influencing how you live. Just try to recall an event and you will find the answer. So let's work on this together and find out what am I still holding on to. So tonight, oh, I don't want you to force yourself to let go. I simply want you to become aware of what your system is still holding. So if you're comfortable, like I always say, there will be certain experiences, tools, or techniques which we will be doing together. Whoever is joining live, if they have a safe space, like uh, they can do it right now, or else once this video is uploaded, you can revisit it and try to do it. Don't do it in a hurry. Do it in a peace of mind with fully being present in that. Okay? So once you are comfortable, try to close your eyes and take a slow breathe in and exhale slowly. Take one more inhale and release. Now think of a situation or a person or a phase of your life that still creates emotional heaviness within you. Don't have to relive the story, not the entire story, just the emotional residue. Just the emotional residue. And now ask yourself honestly, what am I still holding on to from this? Is it the pain, the disappointment, the need for validation, the unanswered questions, the unfairness, or the version of you that got hurt? Just observe what comes naturally to you. Don't force, just observe. And now notice something deeper. What have you been hoping for emotionally? Were you waiting for an apology? Was it a recognition or an understanding? Or say, closure from someone else? And then gently remind yourself, boldly, keep your hands on heart and say it loud. My healing cannot stay dependent on someone else's awareness. Repeat again. My healing cannot stay dependent on someone else's awareness. And Silently say to yourself, I acknowledge what this experience did to me. I acknowledge what I carried because of this experience. And I am ready to stop carrying it in the same way. Now take one deeper breath and imagine losing your emotional grip, not forcing this release, just softening the hold. So I will call this practice the complete the cycle practice. Okay. So now you can come back. So whenever an emotion keeps returning, instead of suppressing it or mentally replaying it, ask yourself these three questions. Do it anytime whenever such situation arise. Do it in a place where you can give yourself 1 to 2 minutes or 5 minutes. That's very much possible. And ask these three questions. What this experience makes me feel, not what happened, but what did it make you feel? Second, what did I need at that moment that I never received? Was it a validation, respect, safety, understanding? What did I not or never received? And what can I give myself now that I keep waiting for externally? You can't wait for others to respect you, to make you feel safe, to understand. Because healing begins when your nervous system stop waiting outside for what it can begin receiving within. So do you promise me that you're not going to rely on external factors, wait for others' validation for your healing to begin? You start doing it from receiving it from within. So letting go does not mean the experience never mattered. It means it no longer controls your emotional state every time you remember it. Okay? So once this is done, bring your awareness back. So this is a very simple exercise that you can do. And post this exercise, you just bring your awareness back and notice what feels slightly lighter within you tonight. Just try to ask these questions tonight before sleeping and or any part of time whenever you feel there is a need. And then at the end, just try to ask yourself what feels slightly lighter within you today. So I want to leave you with this, that letting go is not about erasing memories. We can't do that practically, right? It's about releasing the emotional weight attached to them. And many people spend years trying to move forward without realizing their nervous system is still carrying unfinished emotional experiences underneath. And this is why real healing requires more than motivation that has been repeating it again and again. It requires awareness, emotional processing, and a safe space to understand yourself deeply. That's why I always say, whenever the exercises which I have been giving you from the day one, always try to do it in a safe space where you can spend time alone doing this with yourself. Maybe um, if this made you realize that you have been carrying more than what you thought, you don't have to navigate that alone. Hence, I'm giving you that opportunity that I work with people to help them understand their emotional patterns, nervous system responses, their inner blocks, and the deeper reasons they feel emotionally stuck. So they cannot stop surviving, they can stop surviving emotionally and start feeling lighter, clearer, and more aligned with themselves. And if you feel called to explore that deeper, you can message me clarity or click in the link which is mentioned in the description for a discovery call to understand better. No pressure, just a space where you are finally allowed to understand what you have been carrying. Sometimes, like I say, healing is not learning how to hold more. It's finally allowing yourself to put something down that release that extra load we have been carrying for a while now. Promise me to do that today, and thank you for being here. So I'm signing off for today. See you tomorrow. I'm really glad. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh. Yes, Daniel. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ritu, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for being here. See you tomorrow.